T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
All right, welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10. I am Adam.
Hi.
I am not, again, Tach. I'm not one of the hosts this week.
You're not? That must mean I am. I'm Tach, and it turns out I just read it. I'm not also a host tonight.
I'm Andrea Joy, and I am not your hostess tonight.
Uh-oh. That must
be Jay, I get.
Where's
Jay?
Jay's running late. He's
Jay's not
behind
here.
an accident.
So he's not the host?
No.
I hope not.
This week on the episode, now we've had a lot of guests that have come in and done some Twisted 10s with us.
It's only because you're next, Adam, and you keep getting guest hosts.
You figured my trick out, I think.
Yeah.
All right, but joining us remote hosted again for another episode, well, this is her first episode, but we're doing another remote hosting this week, is Kari Simms from the Blazing Caribou Studios. Tach, I know you've heard a little bit about Blazing Caribou, but they host just a buttload of shows. They've got like seven or eight different shows. Kari, why don't you tell us a little bit about Blazing Caribou?
Yeah, we got about 7 really solid shows going with us right now, and it's kind of all over the gambit, which is what we like. We like to diversify over here at Blazing Caribou. We have a really good staff of, whether it's comedians or sports people or artists. We just have like kind of the realm of everything. So, it's a great little place to work. It all started up as a volunteer type of a network, and it just kind of exploded from there. And our little first show that we had was a little something called Trivia Geeks, and it's a game show, and you're not supposed to win, you're just supposed to have fun, and it is a lot of fun. It's really silly and really kind of wild. It's kind of like, I guess, if Whose Line Is It Anyway kind of meets a game show. It's basically how Trivia Geeks is. Nice. It's not meant to be like, who is the 5th president of the United States? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But we have like really random stuff on there. So that was our first show. And from that point on, we just had a bunch of really crazy ideas and wanted to kind of make this team together. And now we range anywhere from political podcasts to sci-fi podcasts to film, cinema, to art and sketching comedies, or, even animals. So yeah, we're all over the place. So, but in a good, organized way. We call ourselves the Herd, and we are a herd of wonderful people over there working at Blazing Caribou. So
nice. Yeah, you guys, I was luckily invited, and thank you for the invitation, but I was invited to guest host an episode of Sketching Comedy that just released as we're recording this same day.
Yeah.
So this show won't be out till Thursday of this week. However, your guys' show just dropped today.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend anybody who's into art, comic books, comic type art, fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of stuff, go check out the Sketching Comedy podcast and any of the other ones that Blazing Caribou produces. But, that one's really kind of cool. And our boy Tach, maybe if you guys have an opening in the future, Tach does our cartoon work for a little animation series that he's putting together for us, that Andrea Joy does the voice of the lead in there, called Penny.
Nice.
And Tach and Jay, our other host that's not here, does the voices of the brother and the brother's friend, Herbert and Dell. And it's called Get Out, Penny. Huh. Each episode ends with the brothers or the friends yelling at Penny to get out of whatever the situation is. So it's kind of a cute little catch. Yeah. She's a sarcastic little brat, but she's also very cunning and
neat.
So maybe on one of your guys' shows in the future. I know Tach would benefit a lot from that because of his artistic background.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. We'd always like to have you guys on.
Thanks, Dad. No, yeah, that'd be awesome. I listened to Adam's episode on the way here tonight, so seems very cool. I'm not a big comic book guy, so I did learn a lot about Frank. What is it? Franzetti?
Frank Franzetti, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know who he was, but now I know a lot.
I didn't either. That's what's so cool about this show. And see, what's really cool about this show is like in a month, we'll do 3 or 4 comic book artists or illustrators. And then on the 4th one, we do a comedian. And just a little background is I used to do stand-up. and that's the comedy and the sketching comedy. So these
Nice.
guys get to draw, and it's mainly was kind of birthed as a YouTube type of a show, but there's a nice podcast that goes with it. I think it kind of works really well, cause they're describing everything, so it works. But the comedy part comes in, and the first one we're going to do is Louis C.K. So we just all got through watching
nice.
that. So we get to kind of review all the, all the bigs and greats and things like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that show.
Nice strong start on comedy there.
Yeah.
Louis CK.
So that's the whole thing about that show. So if you're not a real big artsy kind of comic book guy and you just want to laugh, the show is meant to be humorous. It's supposed to be fun, and you're also supposed to kind of learn a little something. So, just hang with us. So yeah.
Cool.
Also, before we get started, I just wanted to point out for the listeners, in case they're wondering, it's James Monroe is our 5th president of the United States. So, in case anybody was wondering the answer,
Wait, what? Where'd that come from?
she
The
asked.
question?
James Monroe is
the
the
question
fifth
of-
president. Neat.
Adam forgets.
And I
things.
googled that. I didn't know it. So,
Also, for any new listeners who are coming to us from Blazing Caribou Studios or from just finding the podcast at random, the Twisted 10 is a unique top 10 list podcast. And it's not like a rundown like a David Letterman list that goes through in a couple of minutes. What we do is we either one of the hosts here in studio or one of the guest hosts, like Kari in this situation, comes up with their own unique and original top 10 list. Now, the list can be based on anything you want, and no range or restriction on content or language. The shows go out as explicit, so you've got the full gambit. And the only caveat is the list must be unique to you or unique in general. So you can't bring us a list that BuzzFeed has created or that you can find off on the street. So and this is, I'll be honest, this is one of the only podcasts that I know of that allows a guest host to completely take over the hour. So Kari, what we're going to do, we are going to turn the rest of the podcast, with the exception of maybe Jay coming in, because he might come in here in just a minute, the rest of the podcast over to you, and then we'll wrap it up at the end.
we'll hand over the metaphorical keys, if you will.
Yeah, this is your show now.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So I do a little show. It's called Brokeback Mountain. And the first part of this show started off as it started in literally 2 days. Artwork, iTunes feeds, getting it all set, because Phil Rude, who's an illustrator, and I fell in love with the show Westworld. And we were like, we need to talk someplace about this, because we were just like, blabbing everywhere on the internet. And we're like, why don't we just put this in a podcast? Like, let's go. Let's do it. Sketching comedy isn't ready. Let's just start talking. He's like, I'm with you. So we did this show. It started as Brokeback Mountain, and, which we thought was funny and still do. But what happened was,
cute.
as soon as the show, as soon as the season ended, it's like, what are we going to do? So we decided to kind of turn it into a sci-fi type of a podcast, which we, review movies, technology. We talk about AI. We talk about Westerns and AI. So we try to keep the whole broke body type of a theme going. And so because of this, I don't know, we get off on stupid tangents. And Phil and I have, we've always talked about, Seinfeld connections. And we're always talking about, the Seinfeld thing and the da-da-da-da-da. Well, I started watching some of these movies, and I noticed that every single person that was in these movies was also in Law and Order. The beginning.
First of all, everybody's been in Law and Order, just so you know.
Well, that's
Every
the whole
actor's
point.
been on Law and Order.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point. I was like, you know what? I bet I could. I'm like, and bet me, I could take any movie that we watch. And I said, I won't pick the movie beforehand. I said, you could pick any movie that we watch, and I could somehow bring it back to the 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon and bring it back to Law and Order. And he's like, nah, you can't do it. I'm like, bet me. So far I have. Every show we've done, there's been an actor or actress that has been in Law and Order. So I thought it would be kind of funny to kind of bring it over here a little bit, but to do it with a little bit of a twist, like your show asked for.
Nice.
So, obviously all these people are in Law and Order. But what's neat is all these people eventually ended up playing comic book characters and or are in some type of comic booky type of a film, TV show, something like that. Like either in Superman or something like that. So this is before they were stars. And Well, kinda. As best as I could get before they were stars. I mean, some of them, but
Nice.
these are really old episodes of Law and Order. Now, I don't know. Now, Adam, have you ever watched Law and Order? Or is it just me?
So I've seen lots of Law and Orders, but more specifically, I've seen like the Law and Order SVU.
Right.
That's Special Victims Unit or whatever. That's the one I've most recently been watching. All right, so yeah, this is Jay Alvarez. He's the local stand-up comedian and one of our cast members of both shows as well. So
nice. So do I
now
have to
you've got
start
the
over?
full cast.
Should I do the quick version? So
Start all over. No,
Yeah, give me the Cliff Notes.
No.
Just recap for him, just the name of the top 10 list you're bringing us.
okay. What the heck did I name it? I named it.
I ask myself that all the time.
Usually it starts with
I didn't know I had to have like this
10.
cool name. Okay, so it's like
Or the summary.
the people that were on Law and Order, like the beginning of Law and Order, it doesn't matter which Law and Order, that turned into eventually starring as either superheroes or like in superhero movies or animation like Superman.
I love it
Batman,
because
stuff.
everyone gets their start on Law and Order.
Well, well, here's a cool
Everybody's
thing.
been
Like,
on there.
I could have done, I can come back. And that's what's really funny. I'm like, I actually made myself a window so that I can come back and do multiple Law and Order lists. Cause I was like, oh, I can do Saturday Night Live cast. I can do Seinfeld cast.
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
can
Nice.
do sci-fi cast. I'm like, I can do a bunch of these. I'm like, there's a
Yeah,
million of these people on there. And it's,
When I was doing stand-up in New York, one of the jokes was, "Oh, you're a comic? Yeah. Well, what episode of SVU were you in?"
Nice.
yeah, and that's absolutely true. Like, there's so many, people that you would not even imagine were on there, you wouldn't even think, like, kind of just sprouted from there. So, all right. So how do I do this? Do I just start down with like the first one and kind
Yeah,
of run
basically-
Start
back?
with number 10.
Yeah, basically you say that, number 10 and then give us a second because our only interaction is really to make fun of the number that
Okay.
you're on.
Okay. So,
And then you go through number 10 and we interact with it a little bit if there's anything to talk about and then go down the list.
All right.
Number 9, number 8, number 7, etc.
gotcha. Okay. So the first one was in
What
season.
number is it?
No, I'm not telling. This is number 10. This is like the
Number 10. Yeah, this is where we get to chime in.
Okay.
This is our little thing that we have.
Think of us as Shakespeare's chorus.
All right. She was in season 3, episode 7 of SVU's Sacrifice. And she played Jaina Jansen in 2001. Elizabeth Banks is the first.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, Rita
That's going way
Repulsa.
back.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, that's before 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah. Well, she also starred in Hunger Games. If you don't know who Elizabeth Banks is.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah.
I have to look these up. I never get celebrity
Oh
names
yeah,
very
Adam's
well.
going to be face down in his tablet all night.
Oh,
Just
you don't have.
Googling
I do
people.
have references, so you don't have to. Adam.
IMDb.
Hopefully, you should be able to figure it
IMDb.
out. So she was in Hunger Games. She was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Scrubs. A lot of people recognize her for Scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more might recognize her from Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know that
She
movie.
played-
Great film.
Yeah, that one you would know.
Right?
Hey, I thought
that
this was a
girl.
porno.
Her. All
Yeah,
right.
the one that didn't get naked in the porno movie.
Yeah, right? What's up with that?
She was naked in
Andrea.
40-Year-Old Virgin. Well, topless.
So she ended up in 2007's Spider-Man 3 playing Miss
Ugh.
Grant.
Ugh.
So that's why she's cut.
between Jay and Tach, there's probably more comic book knowledge in this room than there is in the entire eastern part of Florida.
Well,
The
I'm
two of
not
these
big
guys are
on
nuts.
comic books, but I know
Comic characters,
I know,
Marvel, that
I
kind
know
of stuff.
actors and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so there's a little bit of something for everybody here. Like some people even
Yeah.
know the show Law and Order. It's really funny because my partner, he's like, I have never watched an episode of Law and Order. I'm like, okay,
How?
so just so you know, I'm not like a freak about Law and Order or anything. Here's the thing. I need to sleep every night, and every night I turn this show on, and I've done it for 25 years, and that's what's really crazy because I'm in my 40s anyway, but I've turned it on.
hey, I'm there with you.
Yeah, and I've slept to this show every night. And it's funny because I don't even remember half of these episodes because I'm just passed out in 15 minutes. But apparently, like, I have the dun-dun, like, kind of idea that my brain is just stuck.
Yeah.
You have Pavlovianly taught yourself to go to sleep with the sound of the Law and Order. That needs to be
Yes.
like a ringtone on your phone you can set at night and
Right.
it just knocks you out.
Let me tell you, I wish I could be lulled to sleep by the sweet, sweet sounds of Christopher Maloney.
You can.
Iced-tea.
Anybody. You just got to try hard enough. And
Is that lemonade?
No, it's iced tea. Lemonade. It's delicious.
okay. So the next one is number 9. And this is Ty Burrell, and you'll recognize him as the dad on Modern Family.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one with the tablet, Adam.
Yeah. He played season 13, episode 22 of the regular Law and Order. The episode was named Sheltered, and he played Herman Capshaw in 2003. And he actually played on a couple of episodes, but I like to just kind of put the first one down there because, you know, it's the most important. But he played like 2 or 3 episodes of Law and Order because, you know, once you get the Law and Order bug, you just can't help it. You got to come back.
Ooh, can I play another murder victim?
Have you guys ever noticed about this stupid show too? Is like, if they're on one show, the chances are they might go on another version. So it's like they could be a killer on SVU, but then the very next day they're on like Criminal Intent and they're the lawyer. And you're just like, what's happening?
Oh god, it's like DC Comics Multiple Earths. Yeah, I just had a nerdgasm.
Yeah. So you might recognize him. He's in National Treasure as well. He was also in Finding Dory. But the connection is here is he played Leonard in 2008's Incredible Hulk. So
Yes, he did.
yeah. See, and it's like I wouldn't even know this stuff. I don't know. I just want to tell you, you made me do a lot of homework today, Adam.
Yeah. Well, so that's kind of
what we do.
That's kind of the trick behind the show. So, Carrie, when we first started the Twisted 10, we did, I don't know, maybe 35 episodes before we had guests connect to us over the internet like this. Maybe 30. Well, the problem was it was rotating between the 4 of us, and it quickly became, I mean, we were doing it once every week. And so one of us was up every week, and that became a very, very stressful thing because you had to do so much research for some of these topics.
Yeah. Somebody's list took hours to do. And Andrea is our token Amish person, so she does everything on paper. Where I do all my stuff on a tablet and a computer. And
It's funny. I saw her researching with microfiche. It was amazing.
I know I have like a spreadsheet going. It's all crazy on this side too. So I'm like, I got color coded. Things are color coded so I can look at it properly. I don't know.
That's their theory is because I'm supposed to be up next in our cast's rotation, and I've had 6 weeks of guests that have been hosting it.
He's been up next for almost 2 months.
Oh, is that why you asked me the night before? Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?
Wait, what? No, we technically had a cancellation.
Yeah. It's okay. Okay. So, now we're moving to number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8. And this is almost a freebie, really. He was in this is season 1 though. So this is like going way back to 1991. Season 1, episode 12 of Law and Order's Life Choice. And it was like all about anti-abortion and stuff. He played Patrick Dunn. His name is Clark Craig, and you'll recognize him. He was on The New Adventures of Old Christine. He was on The West Wing and AI, and he plays Agent Phil Coulson on S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and like every Marvel movie ever that we've known since out of the Marvel creation.
His name's Clark Craig?
Yeah.
Yep. Clark Gregg with 2 G's.
No.
Who the heck is that?
That's like somebody's grandpa.
I pulled up somebody's Facebook profile.
He's just good. That's him.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's he in a relationship with? He's somebody's famous. That's gonna kill me.
Oh, that's a whole different podcast. I didn't have time to find out who he's dating.
And who's he dating? Who's he wearing in that picture? All right, go ahead.
Oh, god damn it.
So you said he was the head honcho guy in Marvel.
Yeah.
Right? One of those.
Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Phil Coulson.
Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's right.
Yeah.
He's in every Marvel movie and TV show and everything.
Yep.
Andrea's looking at him.
Consistent.
I don't think Andrea knows who he is, even from Marvel comic movies.
I know him from Law and Order.
Oh, all right.
He was in season 1, episode 12.
That would be the one.
I grew up watching that. Some kids watch Sesame Street. My mom put Law and Order on for us.
I did the same thing to my daughter. And what's really funny is she can fall asleep to it too. We were in the hospital this week, and it was so funny because when she woke up, she's just like, "Could you maybe find Law and Order? I'm really, really tired." And I'm like, "I can. Hold on, because it's on every channel every day. Just a moment.
The comforts of home when your daughter's asking to find Law and Order. That's
yes.
funny.
It's all good.
Oh, it's Jennifer Grey, by the way. He's married to the chick from Dirty Dancing.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
That's right. That is right. I didn't know.
She got a nose job and nobody would hire her
She
anymore.
should not have ever done that. That was such a signature nose. She should never have gotten rid of that thing.
She even tried to do that sitcom too, right after that nose job.
Well, after she got
She
cast
played
as that
herself?
extra, after she got cast in that as an extra in Spaceballs, she was the before yearbook picture for Princess Vespa before the nose job. It was downhill from there for Miss Gray.
Well, another Jennifer that was on this show played in season 6, episode 23 of just the regular Law and Order called Aftershock. She played Jamie in 1996, and she was really young in this. You might recognize her from...
Is this number 7?
This is number 7.
Seven. All right.
No, you're good.
She played, and I'm not telling you her name yet, but she
Yeah,
played
that's
in
good. I
Dallas
like that.
Buyers Club. She also played in 13 going on 30.
Jennifer Garner.
It is Jennifer Garner, and she also ruined Elektra in 2005, and that's the connection.
Oh my God, I will. Can I Bitcoin you enough money for a beer?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, I don't know what she was thinking, but I was like, oh, this is so wrong. So many levels. I'm like, why don't you go marry Daredevil? Oh crap, you are.
She did.
I think I felt Jay's Grinch heart skip a beat there.
My Grinch heart grew 3 sizes this day. It really did.
One of Jay's top 10 is ironically the childhood movies that
The top 10 movies that ruined my childhood. It was 5 video games and 5 comic book movies.
Yeah.
That completely destroyed everything I'd ever believed in. And yeah, that was
That was
it
one
was
of
an
them.
honorable mention. It didn't make the list, but it was up there.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, it was really hard going through this list because I was sad and I really wanted to push a couple of these guys in there, but I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I gotta keep it with the whole theme. But man, you guys gotta have me back because there's some fun ones. Or you can just listen to Brokeback Mountain when I do them on there because I do
There
it
you
every
go.
show.
Be sure to send me too before we finish tonight, or before we publish, at least on Thursday, the show notes. I'll include all of the links to all the different shows
Oh, okay.
that you guys host through Blazing Caribou, and we can highlight that one specifically.
Sure.
So our listeners can go check those out as well.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, what number was I on?
That was
Number
7.
That was 7.
We're on 6 now.
We're on 6. Okay. Number 6. Okay, these are a little bit more fun now.
Oh.
Like, I can't
Number
believe this
6.
dude was on there. He played in season 12, episode 20 of SVU. He played
I know
in
those.
Totem,
Okay.
and he played as Captain Jackson in the 2011 show. You might recognize him from The Lion King, The Man in the Iron Mask.
Leonardo DiCaprio? He didn't play in Lion
Nope.
King, did he?
Well, so it's
And-
obviously not him. Then would it be
The connection is Alfred in Batman versus Superman.
Jeremy Irons?
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons was on SVU.
Right? Isn't this weird?
It's like the most well-spoken rapist ever.
Nice.
Oh, he's so sweet.
That's what my fiance
Andrea.
calls it. He's like, "Oh, are we watching the rape show?" I'm like, "That is not the name." I'm like, "It's SVU," and no, I'm turning on regular Law and Order because I know you don't like the raping. So I'm like, I'll go to that one. And what's really funny
Which
is
is
like
go-
that
which-
day they happened to do like an old episode before they had SVU on there. It was all about rape, and I was like, I can't get away from it.
No, I know people
Well,
who
it's
like.
sex crimes.
I don't like SVU. I don't want my victims to walk away from this shit. I like regular Law and
jeez.
Order.
You guys are harsh.
I want my victims dead.
You know what always cracked me up about Law and Order is that there's always a scene in it where they always have to question a witness or something.
Right.
And the witness is always working, like on the docks, like loading a truck. And then they're always continuing their work as they're being questioned by the police. It's like, so he's like, I don't know. They're always carrying a box to a truck, and they never stop. They never go, hey, let's talk over here quietly.
Right.
I always wondered why.
Like,
Was that
hey
in
man,
the-
it's fine. What you got? I raped somebody. I did not. Hey, bring that over
Mulaney
here.
has a great
Everything's
bit about
fine.
that.
I've heard Mulaney talk about SVU and stuff, but I don't remember that particular part.
Carrie, you do know between every one of your numbers, when you announce your number, I'm going to insert the notorious
Oh, dum,
sound
dum,
from
Kong,
from Law and
Kong.
Order.
Oh, you have
Yep.
to. I
And you
have
know what?
it.
I've never done anything that's gotten us a cease and desist. So
That'll be worth
maybe
it.
maybe
I
that'll
use
do
it
it.
every week, so it's
Nice.
fine.
Okay, perfect.
I can send you my actual copy so you don't like get in trouble.
Hey,
but
there we go.
I know. They'll be like, why are we having this surge of like Law and Order stuff? Like, it's 2017. What the fuck is going on? It's all good. All right. Well, all right. The next one is,
Well, hang on a minute. Is that 10 through 6?
yeah, that is 10
Yeah,
through
it's 10
6.
through 6.
All right, so we're going to take a break in studio here.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll hear 5 through 1. Village Idiot Pub. You locals know about it. You guys from out of town have to check them out.
Village Idiot Pub is now a proud sponsor with Living Podcariously and the Twisted 10 podcasts.
It's more than just about commercials, though. The cast here will be taking our show on the road to Village Idiot to record some episodes as well as hold events. They have over 30 beers on tap, including ciders and Hefeweizen, my favorite, as well as hundreds of bottle choices.
Adam, you forgot my favorite, all the delicious wine. So get your friends together and enjoy the board games, puzzles, and the giant Jenga.
Let the owner, Jason, as well as the rest of the staff there, take excellent care of your beer drinking needs.
Mention either one of our shows to the staff and get 10% off your tab.
Tuesday is open mic, Wednesday is trivia, Thursday is karaoke, Friday and Saturday night are live music.
Visit them at 4 Harrison Street, Suite 103, Cocoa, Florida, or Village Idiot Pub on Facebook. And don't forget, they are a dog-friendly location, so bring your friends, family, and fur babies.
Hey, it's Adam. If you enjoy the hosts or the content of the Twisted 10, be sure to check out our other show. It's called Living Podcariously. While the Twisted 10 may get crass and explicit occasionally, it holds no water to Living Podcariously. We do get a little bit more rough and raw on that show. We have a lot of fun producing it and have had some awesome guests. And as always, thanks for listening.
Okay, we have 45 seconds before the anesthesia wears off, so we have to make this quick.
That's not very good anesthesia.
Focused now. Remember why we're here.
Honestly, no. Sandwiches?
Soon. Look, we're here to tell the Twisted 10 listeners about our show, the Conversation Hat Podcast, in which a hat tells us to talk about geek culture, the arts and the abstract, features guests from the creative industries along with original sketches and music.
Oh, yeah. I guess we'd mentioned that the Conversation Hat is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and on stabbedpanda.com, right?
I really wish we'd scripted this before breaking in.
Liam, they're starting to wake up.
Oh, darn, there's no time. Come on, through the window.
We forgot the sandwiches.
DJ Gil Lugo is bringing back the old school.
Just a castaway, an island lost at sea. Another lonely day, no one here but me. More loneliness than any man could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair.
All right, welcome back to the Twisted 10. Again, this week, Kari is joining us from Blazing Caribou Studios. So, and with an awesome list, I cannot wait to go and post and put in the little tung-tung behind the scenes stuff.
The name is actually, it was a little nickname they used to call me in high school, so that's where it comes
Caribou.
from. So yeah, it kind of run from that, and the logo is partially that.
You
too,
told me
so.
you have an interesting meaning behind the name Blazing Caribou. So,
Yeah.
for both of you two, you want to give that to our listeners?
Right. A friend and I who started off with Trivia Geeks, Sean Burns, he is a great guy, and he helped me kind of like put this whole silly thing together. He and I kind of were coming up with a name, and I was trying to think of something fun, and his last name is Sean Burns, and I thought Blazing, and then my nickname from high school was Caribou. So we just thought it was kind of a fun play on like an animal that, doesn't really, doesn't really move that fast, but at the same time, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, what was that show? Back to the Future, kind of like when the car takes off and kind of leaves a blazing trail, that kind of an idea, you know. So we're creators, we're innovators, we're trying something new, you know, trying to make this podcasting thing, crazy world that we have together work. So it's all good.
That's awesome.
All right, so number 5, we're going way back again.
Number 5.
Back to season 2, episode 17 of the regular Law and Order season. This one's called Sisters of Mercy. This guy played Jack Powell in 1992. I'm going to name a couple of movies. Maybe you can figure it out.
Okay.
He played in Pleasantville.
Okay.
He also played in Shameless and Fargo.
I know what he looks like, but I don't know his name.
I've seen 2 of the 3 of those movies.
I could draw him for you.
Pleasantville.
See? Doesn't
You
this
got
look like
something
him,
else?
listeners?
You got another thing he was in?
He was the dad, right?
Jeff
on
Daniels?
Pleasantville?
No, William H. Macy.
Oh, wait, Macy. Oh,
William
God,
H.
yes,
Macy.
yes,
Okay.
yes. I forgot he was in that. That's right.
He was like Fargo, dude.
yeah,
He was.
yeah.
No, Shameless threw me off because I knew the TV
Yeah,
show,
yeah,
but I was like,
that's
you
right.
said movies. Wait.
Well, I just thought it was interesting. I kind of stretched it a little bit for this one. He played in the Superman, the animated series in 1998. He did voices for that. I think for like one of the directors. But I just was like, William H. Macy was in Law and Order. There's no way, right? So of course I'm on my TV and I'm like looking it up and I'm like, I'll be damned, motherfucker, he's right there. So I mean, like, it's so funny, like where these guys got their start. I mean, this was like way before Fargo and everything. Speaking of which, a lot of people like to say I sound like I'm from Fargo, but I'm not.
Hey?
But it's all
Actually,
good.
you sound, I'm sure you've heard this before, but you sound like Joan Cusack. You have that?
I do?
Yes. You've never heard that?
No.
The whole
I've
time
never
I was
heard that.
listening to the episode with Adam, I'm thinking, she sounds like Joan Cusack.
Really?
Really?
That is the first I've ever heard that one.
I typically change the channel
It's
when I
kind
see
of
her
a-
on screen, so I can't.
Right.
vouch.
So now I'm like, how do I
whatever.
change my voice quickly?
She has that like Chicago kind of an accent.
Yeah,
so-
you can definitely tell you're from Chicago, but that's all I was picking up from it.
But I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Michigan.
well,
Okay, then, yeah.
But I live in Chicago. So
I think the Cuzaks
actually
are from
have
Chicago,
a northern
Mm-hmm.
Michigan Canadian accent that when I say the word Chicago, it's, I guess,
Oh,
like
yeah,
even
when you
my
say
fiance
Chicago,
says,
yeah.
he's like, oh, you sound like you're from Chicago. I'm like, I'm from Michigan.
Yeah,
I
no.
just happen to be here.
Now that you say, yeah, no, you do sound more like Bobby's mom, don't you know?
oh,
Don't you know?
Do you like brats?
Oh, yeah.
You're from Chicago.
Yeah, it's all good. So I'm where I need to be. It's all good. All right.
I'm
so
Hispanic.
guys,
No matter where I'm at, I'm just one. My nationality depends on what city I'm in. If I'm in Miami, I'm Cuban. If I'm in LA, I'm Mexican. And if I'm in New York, I'm Puerto Rican. You're from Michigan, you're from Chicago.
It's fine.
I
Whatever
feel your
works.
pain.
As long as I'm not from Detroit, it's all good.
Oh, yeah, no one wants to be from Detroit.
All right, so the next one is number 4. This is also going back to season 2, episode 20 of Law and Order, the Intolerance episode. This guy played Randy Borland in 1992. You guys might recognize him from the movie Moon, Confessions of Dangerous Minds, or The Green Mile.
In Moon, there was only one guy in it, so it's, well, for the most part, so it kind of gives
Well,
it
yeah.
away.
So who is it?
Well, he's the crazy guy in Green Mile.
He
crazy
plays
guy?
in Iron Man 2. The connection is he plays Justin Hammer.
Oh, damn. I know. I can't remember his
The
name.
crazy guy?
Damn it.
in
Jay, you
Greenlaw?
might have missed your twist on this top 10. The twist is that all these have some tie into the comic book movie or Marvel movie or something like that. All these
Nice.
actors tie into it somehow.
The crazy guy in Green Miles, are you talking about? Talking about the
The
correctional officer?
molester. No, the molester guy.
No.
Oh, the guy with the mouse?
He's one of the corrections officers.
Oh, he is one of the corrections officers? Ooh, I'm
Which-
thinking of a different guy.
Oh, wait.
Just Google Moon. Find it.
I've never seen Moon.
That's Adam's job. That's what we're waiting on.
If you haven't seen Moon, oh my God, what a ridiculous
Oh, Sam Rockwell.
movie.
Oh, Sam
It
Rockwell.
is Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, no, he wasn't a corrections officer. He was a
Yeah.
I thought he was the molester guy.
No.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, wasn't he in...
Sam Rockwell was the crazy guy who acted like he was like under the influence of like Quaaludes or something when they first brought him in, and then they were like,
I
"I think
swear he
he's
was like
all."
an officer.
No.
Really?
Yeah, he
Well,
was.
now I have to look it up.
I tried searching Sam Rockwell in Green Mile, but I spelled Sam Rockwell in Green Mike. Yeah, he for sure. So he
that
was
was
the one.
that was a lesser known porn he did before Law and Order came out.
Say,
Yeah, for sure. So he was the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
See, he's behind bars there. He was the guy that killed those 2 little girls in the story of Green Mile. That then the guy, what was the big black guy's name?
Oh God, what am I thinking of?
Then he said he's like, oh, he was a bad man, boss. That
Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking
killed the
of this.
mouse. That guy.
Yeah. Well, he actually didn't kill a
I
mouse.
thought the mouse was his friend.
No, you're thinking of another guy.
No, you're thinking of
The old guy.
yeah, you're thinking of that guy, Wild Bill Percy. That's what his character's name was.
No, that's.
Oh, you mean Wild Bill isn't on his birth certificate?
Oh, sorry. So okay. So Sam Rockwell. Okay.
Like on Law and Order. I don't even get it. Now he was in a movie. Nope, wrong guy. Never mind.
So that takes
I
us
was
down
just
to
gonna
number.
say, if you guys have ever seen The Lobster, don't. It's like the worst 2 hours of my life, and it has ruined my adulthood. I don't even know what to do with it. I mean, Electra might have ruined your childhood. The Lobster ruined my adulthood. I don't even know where to go from here. I'm just like, I watched it. I can't take it back. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to tell people about it because in a way I want them to also experience the hatred that I have for it. So I'm kind of like,
I feel the same way about 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Since I saw that, I just cannot get that out of
I read the book. I haven't seen it yet, though. Is it any good?
the book of 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help get it out of your head if you keep watching it every morning, Adam.
I guess that's a
Yeah,
good
that's
point.
true.
yeah, probably not.
I've got that music set as my ringtone to my phone.
That's where it's from.
Okay, I think we're getting down on the final 3 here.
Yeah.
Número 3.
So the final 3, this guy was in season 17, so a little bit more recent, episode 16 of the regular Law and Order, episode Murder Book. He played J.P. Lang in 2007. Now, I don't know if you guys are fans of these, but if you've seen Boardwalk Empire, he was in this show.
Never saw
on
that.
HBO, which is a great show. He was also in The Bone Collector.
Oh, great show.
And also in Vinyl, which was a short show on HBO. He's also in Mr. Robot too. If you guys,
I haven't seen any of these
So
shows.
he was in the movie Bone
he's in
Collector?
the newer episodes though.
She
I
was
have
in
nothing.
Vinyl as well.
Let me see what
I don't
else
have
he's been in.
HBO, so I haven't seen any of these shows. So
I'm gonna see if there's anything else.
Ray Romano was in Vinyl.
Yeah, he was.
Does that count?
No. Let me see. If there's anything else kind of
Was it Bobby Cannavale?
Yes, it is. Bobby
Yes,
Cannavale.
he was in Will and
Yes,
Grace. That's why I remember.
Will
him
and
from.
Grace. There we go.
Yep.
He was in, and he was in this
Who do you play
other.
in
He
Will
was
and
in a
Grace?
cop show, Third Watch, which was it was an amazing show.
Well, he played Paxton on Ant-Man, so if you saw that
Yeah.
movie, the Marvel movie,
Can't see who's.
that's where he
Oh,
comes from.
okay. I know that.
Yeah.
Will and Grace. That's where I would know him from.
Okay.
I put him in here because he was like my favorite character on Boardwalk Empire, and if you haven't seen that series, I highly recommend it.
That's Steve
The shameless
Buscemi's in
plug
that.
for
Yeah,
nobody.
Buscemi's in it.
Nobody gets any money for this, but hey, just watch Boardwalk.
Andrea and I have been looking for another show to watch. We've got HBO now, so we might do Boardwalk
Well, if you
Empire.
kind of like those gangster movies,
Heck yeah.
Bobby
Yeah.
Cannavale plays in this, and he absolutely just kind of steals the show for a little while, and he's great in it. So
Nice.
I kind of dig it. So if you guys are looking for something fun to watch, definitely. It's a little slow. Season 1, trust me. Season 2.
Picks up.
That's HBO for you. I tried watching Game of Thrones. Can't get into it. Too slow.
You
I
can't
don't
go
get it.
too slow. The first 10 minutes has zombies, 2 beheadings, a midget, tits, and a midget playing with tits. How can you not get into Game of Thrones?
Okay, first of all, they prefer the undead, and they also prefer little people. Okay, and they prefer boobs. So no, I watched the first episode twice. The only thing I liked in it was the blonde chick that got naked. That's it. And that wasn't enough for me to continue. I haven't given up though. Jim.
Wait,
I'll try.
Daenerys? She was like 14.
She was not.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
Whatever. How could she be
like
naked
Never
on
read
the
the books,
show?
have you?
I like what
She's
you did there.
a little,
Because
little
it's
girl.
HBO.
She's like 12 in the books.
Yeah, in the books, in the books, she's
in the
literally
TV
12.
show, she isn't. So
Yeah.
she's legally naked. So
Help me
there
out
you
here.
go.
On what we're watching on TV, I'm picturing her as 20, 25, somewhere in that range. So
Sure.
we're going to go with that, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't
Yeah.
feel so bad now.
What was it? No, two women on Game of Thrones that played Sarah Connor from Terminator.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Cersei Lannister played Sarah. She played Sarah Connor on the TV show, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
and
Sarah
the
Connor-
girl who plays Daenerys was on in the most recent movie.
Oh, that's right. She
Yeah.
was. You're absolutely correct.
And
I know
bet
way
you-
more than I ever should. I'm
and
not
I
proud
bet
of
you
this.
anything.
I know weird crap like that too. See, we should have you on Trivia Geeks. That's where you belong. That's your show because we only have comedians on there. So, welcome to Trivia
yes.
Geeks.
Jay would be a great fit for that. He nails most of the trivia questions when Tach brings its game time to Living Podcariously. He's right on top of them.
He's
He knows
fucking
it.
amateurs.
Well, if you know how many dildos that you're allowed to have in Austin on a Tuesday, then you'll do fine on the
It's
show.
12.
I think it's 2 actually.
You can't have more than 5.
I mean, it's Austin. Everyone in Austin's a dildo anyway. So let's just be real about it.
Well, yeah, it's not more so as a personality as
Oh,
much as
okay.
the actual object. So it's all good. All right, we have 2 more.
All right.
These are
All
my
right.
Number
favorite.
2?
Number 2. This is from season 6, episode 20, and I think he was still a blonde back then. From SVU. Yay, an SVU one. The episode is called Night. Jason Whittaker is who he portrayed. Now, you might recognize him in The Hangover,
Okay.
Silver Lining Playbook,
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
and Limitless. Yes,
Yeah.
it is Bradley Cooper.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
the
he-
connection is he plays Rocket Raccoon on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, he
So
does.
Yeah, very nice.
Voices him. Yes. Bradley Cooper. What?
Bradley Cooper actually used to work for the same hotel company I worked for when he was first starting.
Yeah.
He was a bellman.
Neat.
I won't say
Bell-
the name of the hotel.
It's Bell
but-
Person. I think is what that-
Carrie's like, oh yeah.
At least I ain't
okay.
call-
that's cool.
It's not like I called him a
No,
bellhop.
like you know
dick.
him because then we can talk afterwards. It's all good.
No. It was just weird because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Bradley Cooper used to work here." I'm like, "Does he still?" I'm like, "No." Then who cares? And now I know what that feels like.
It's kind of like
And now I know what it
my
feels
high
like to be on
school.
the other side of that.
I totally get it. So I go to my high school and they're like, "Hey, did you know Madonna went here?" I'm like, "Yeah, does she still?" "No." "Okay, cool. I got math class."
Do you think maybe she'll show up today for third period?
Yeah, I know. Like, can you imagine? This is like Madonna. I'm like, okay, that's all good. So yeah, she was like, I think she's like, I don't know. She's like 100 now, isn't she? She's,
She's
Actually, I
close to
just
that.
looked it up. She's 58, I think, and she still looks
she's
amazing.
Madonna's 58 now.
And she still looks incredible.
My question is, if you went to the same high school, why do you have that accent and why does she sound British?
I don't know. We've all been trying to figure that out. I think she lived in Britain for like a year or London for like a year, and she came home talking like this, and that's it.
Like a
It's the
cockney.
Queen's English.
It's the Queen's English. Queensy
Sounded
Weensy.
French.
It's all goodsy woodsy.
What's happening?
Oh god, yeah. So
So are we done the last one?
We done to number 1?
We haven't done it yet. No, you okay?
Right.
Can we hear this one? Okay, so this is number 1. Guys,
Uno.
This is it. Okay, so
All right.
going way, way back. Season 1, episode 14 of the regular Law and Order, The Violence of Summer. He played Louis Taggart in 1991.
Okay.
You might recognize him from The Hateful Eight,
Okay.
Pulp Fiction,
Okay.
A Motherfucking Snakes on a Train, Mr. Samuel
Is it
L.
really
motherfucking
Samuel?
Jackson,
Nice.
Nick Fury connection, and from Captain America, from Iron Man, from all of them. So,
Yeah,
all
of
of them,
course.
yeah,
Mr.
that was my favorite one. I'm like, what? I'm like, of course. I'm like, what's in your wallet? Apparently SVU.
How do you think I got that SAG card in my wallet?
So yeah, there's my list, guys.
No, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome. That was good.
No, that's a great list. God, I can't believe Samuel L. Jackson was on SVU on the original Law and Order back in 91. That's nuts.
Well, there was more, and I mean, I'll give you a little snippet, but there was a couple, like, I wanted to throw Alec Baldwin in here somewhere. I needed Stephen
nice.
Colbert in here somewhere, and they've all done this show. So that's what I was kind of saying. I'm like, I could always come back and play some more, because I'm like, I got 25 years of this shit.
Nice.
I
You could almost have a daily podcast just on that topic.
right? I know. It was funny. Phil was saying that he's like, maybe you should just go ahead and just start a Law and Order podcast. I'm like, but then I'd have to watch them.
How
And
does
he's
it make
like,
you
you
feel
don't watch
knowing?
them? I'm like, no.
I can tell you with the first
I
15
hear
minutes,
them.
right?
because you fall asleep. How does it feel knowing that you're actively falling asleep to simulated rape crimes? Like that's what lulls you into a state of comfort and ease enough to where you can just fall
I had a rough
asleep.
childhood. It's okay.
See, Carrie falls asleep quick to that, but she's got the really most fucked up dreams anyone's ever had.
Mike
Well, it's
Birbiglia,
funny
no.
because my fiance for like the longest time, he was just like, dude, I am having some like wicked dreams. Can I I don't know, can I get some like earplugs or something? He's like, I don't even know what to do. And I'm like, it'll pass. Trust me. There's just a little.
You start getting aroused by the most random things during the day.
Police lights go on, and he immediately narcoleptically falls asleep at the wheel or something. Sorry, I'm associated to it. It's how I sleep.
The sweet, smooth sounds of Richard Belzer just ringing in your ears.
Belzer.
Jesus.
That's the way back. That's from the way back machine.
And for a good measure, because we mentioned everyone else, Mariska Hargitay. She's the only. It's hard to fit her in a conversation.
All right, Carrie. Well, let's get some plugs out of the way. So, how can our listeners find you? Obviously, all your information is going to be in our show notes, but how can our listeners find some of your Blazing Caribou products?
It's really easy. The easiest way is just to go to blazingcariboustudios.com. Right on the front, you can find our podcast, click on them, and you can just start subscribing right from there. So you can go to anything, and I am going to plug them all because these are my boys here.
Absolutely.
So we've got Brokebot Mountain, and that is our sci-fi podcast. We have Rounds and Breakdowns, and that is a MMA podcast with guys that actually know MMA fighters and things like that. So there's live MMA fighters on there. We have Geek Cinema Society, which is a film. This is a really interesting idea too. Basically, we have these three guys. We have Brett, Nicole, and David Luzader. Great guys who basically have you come on the show, and we had Ranker go through and list like 500 movies that you have to see if you're kind of like, you know, kind of a nerd, kind of a geek, kind of a thing. And
this sounds like my wheelhouse here.
But the person that comes on has never seen the movie. And how many times has this happened to you? Like maybe you haven't seen Alien, right? So you're forced to watch this show and then give your thoughts on that movie in real time. So
gotcha.
it's
I
really
like
kind
that.
of fun.
Yeah.
I did Fury Road when I went on there, and it was a lot of fun because I am the only person apparently in the world that hates this movie. So I get a lot of shit for it, and I had a lot of fun on that show. We have
Great movie. It was a great movie, but there was no real plot. It was
There's
just
no
a
plot.
lot of action. That's it. It's great
there's
action.
Plot. There's and this is like Phil is gonna kill me because I know he's gonna listen to this podcast because he loves hearing my shit afterwards. But the one thing I've always said is there's no story. He's like, there is a story. There's a story. It's just simple. And I'm
It's
like,
about an
okay,
angry
it's
road.
too simplified story.
Yeah.
Again, I'm getting
I haven't
angry on
seen it,
Fury
so.
Road again. Every podcast, like bring it up, and that's what happens. Sketching Comedy, and that is the live show that we do on YouTube every week on Wednesdays. And you can catch our YouTube thing also on blazingcariboustudios.com. Sketching Comedy is basically, like they were saying, is we have two live artists. One is analog, one is digital, and they draw anything inspiring them on the relative topic, whether it's illustrators or comedians that we do once a month. So it's a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Definitely check that out. We have Statecraft, which is an all political podcast, and that is usually taking place with Brett Stewart, and he goes on location, and he was at the inaugural address. So it's a really extensive podcast.
Carrie,
as well.
you may like this. Tell Brett we have Jen Briney from Congressional Dish that's going to do an episode of Twisted 10 either next week or the week after. And especially if they like political podcasts, she's one of the like top dogs in podcasts that are politics.
Nice.
Her Twisted 10 topic for us, I know it ahead of time because she vetted it through me, is not political sort of, but it's funny. It's got a cool little like scandalous type side. So it's going to be a cool top 10 for us. But let them know that she's going to be on the show, and she's looking to promote her stuff. So maybe we can share some guests as well.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
I'll share guests all over the place.
Nice.
And actually remind me later to possibly talk to you about adding you to our Slack. Anyway,
All right.
Okay, so moving along, we have our last two podcasts.
Words are hard. It's all right.
Words are hard at night.
It's Monday and it's okay.
Our last two podcasts, we have Trivia Geeks, like I said, is for comedians and podcasters alike. And it's just a fun show. It's a game show, and nobody wins anything. It's a bunch of bullshit, and you play for an hour, and it's fun, and you laugh, and it's all good. So we love that show. Definitely check that one out. And our last one is Varmints, and this is a great little animal show. We have Paul Chomo and Donna Hume, where they are not animal experts in any way, but what they do is they go on and they research a wonderful little animal and some type of varmint or critter. And at the end of the show, they just decide if they're going to eat it or not. And, which is awesome, because most of the time they'll eat it, which is great.
That came out of nowhere.
Right?
That's fantastic.
It's a great show. I highly recommend.
Hey
all
there,
of these
little
shows.
buddy.
Varmints
I'm
is
gonna eat you.
adorable, though. They've got really good chemistry on that show, so definitely
Great.
check those out. So if you want to find any of them, just head on over to blazingcariboustudios.com.
Awesome.
Well, fantastic. All right, for our listeners, check the show notes. You'll get all the links in the show notes to all the shows that Kari brought up here. Check out their Facebook page. Send them some love on there. You can find all of their shows on iTunes, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, all of the typical locations you can find most of the podcasts. Yeah, I guess that's it.
If you want to follow our show on Twitter, we are at Podcarious. And you can also...
Nope, not podcast.
I'm sorry, crap, wrong show. Sorry, back up. Want to follow us on Twitter? We are on at the Twisted 10.
There we go.
And let's see. And also, if you want to email the show, you have questions, comments, or ideas, or you want to be on the show, you can hit us up at thetwisted10@gmail.com.
Very cool. All right. Jay, you got anywhere you're going to be anytime soon?
Yeah, I actually got a busy week coming up next week. Wednesday, April 26th, I will be hosting the comedy show at Open Mics in Melbourne, Florida. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that is April 27th, 8th, and 9th, I will be hosting the show at Gregory's Comedy Club in Cocoa Beach.
Very, very cool. Andrea, where are you going to be this week?
Brett Allen Salon in Batesville.
Perfect. All right. Well, Kari, on behalf of the cast here, we want to thank you very much for hosting this episode of The Twisted 10. I'll be sure to email you the links and all that stuff this Thursday when we post this show. And we appreciate it. It was a great list. Thank you for bringing it to us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We hope your daughter recovers quickly as well.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure she will.
Cool deal. All right. Well, have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Wait. Don't hit stop on the episode just yet. Hey, this is Tach from the podcast you just listened to. And if you enjoy living podcariously or The Twisted 10, then you're going to love my new podcast I co-host with my lifelong buddy, Ron Caniff. It's called You're 40, Now What? It's about the trials and tribulations of turning 40 and just getting through life. So check it out on iTunes, Google Play Music, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thanks. Now go give someone a mouth hug.